Hey everyone, Jim here. We have not talked about this game in some time, but this is U-Boat. This is like the cutaway view, um, managing the ship crew. The developers have just added a ton of features. I don't use any mods. There is a lot of content created by some of the players, contributors, to help kind of work, make things a little easier. I just tend to keep it the vanilla. That way with each content update I get, I don't have any issues. So having said that, I'm just going to go ahead and pull up my save, go through some of the features, some of the new stuff. They've added a plethora of new boats, U-boats, encounters. I mean, from the beginning of this game, it's completely different. Now it really kind of follows the theater campaign of the war, which is pretty cool. So you still have the presentation here. As you progress, it'll show you each theater. You still have a lot of features or functionality of how much or how little you want the crew to do. I mean, you can go as granular with the crew as to set what everyone does and at what hour they do it and in what priority they do it in. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you just take a look here, just real quick. Here's my crew. I can go into tasks, so you can see these are just my officers. Then you can click on the crew. It's, this is the shifts, and what they do, the morning shift, and then the schedule. If you want them working, you want them doing anything, sleeping, be free. Typically, if they're free, they'll sleep if they're tired. Then there's the squads, how many sailors you want to assign to each one of your officers, which shift they're on. Then they've added specializations. As you go along, you get points. You can put specializations. And then the boats, you can now actually schedule a dive time. Like if you want, and again, you have to remember, some of these boats can't stay submerged in the early, at least in the early, with the earlier models of the ships for long periods of time. They'll run out of oxygen. They'll run out of battery. And it's actually a little more challenging now because you really got to keep an eye on fuel. If you get out too far, you won't be able to get back. Sometimes I've kind of crippled back with batteries. It's just crazy. But the air compressor management, if you hover it, tells what each does. You can set this to automated. These are like standing orders. But anyway, that's a good overview of that. Headquarters, you still have all your research. Once you recruit different officers, you can assign them to this research. This is how you progress in technology, and you can start fitting your ship out with each of those. So if you start at the beginning of the campaign, you literally start with the first model U-boat at that time, and I don't know if it shows me which U-boat this is. And this is what I was talking about in the cutaway. I'm sure many of you've seen it. And we'll kind of cover, as we go out to sea. I'm just making sure in my save that I've kind of restocked everything. So I'm going to check
officer
quick here.
Take a look.
I think and this boat has very limited torpedo. Yeah, I did top off fuel. Doesn't have a lot of storage for torpedoes. But primarily your missions in the beginning of the campaign are really just to go out and recon. It's kind of an optional bonus if you do sink a ship. Another thing they added is you just can't go out and sink any old ship. just because you see it. You have to actually identify it. So we'll get, this is our target area. Our patrol is, you know, right now our objective is just to reach the patrol. So we will do that. I think we got to actually turn an engine on. We're not going to be doing much of anything. They've done a lot of optimization. The graphics are just beautiful. Speaking of some of the features, they have added what they call the deck wash. A lot of improvements to deck wash. So, you know, sailing at night, it's pretty dangerous, especially with air patrols. So you can actually set this to deck wash, and it greatly reduces the visibility. As you can see right now, like, there's all my visibility, what my exposures are, whether it's noise, you know, my radar signature. Pretty crazy. I mean, a lot of information. So, keeping this all real time, I'm not going to cut away to a scene just so you get an idea, but let's go ahead and speed up time as far as we possibly can.
Torpedo and tube 1 maintained.
So I always go out to this screen just because it looks like this, kind of silly. And I just missed my icon.
I have a bad feeling about this patrol.
I'm sure
intuition, but something tells me we're going to run into trouble.
Torpedo and tube 2 maintained.
Rookie.
Torpedo and tube 3 maintained.
There we go. We can really speed this up once we get out to open water.
We're in shallow waters, Captain.
Yeah. There are now warp points. As long as you, so if you're in the patrol area and you finish with your patrol, you can actually hit the warp and it'll take you back to port, which is kind of nice. So you don't have to actually speed up time. I don't know, and it's never happened to me, but if there's an encounter, if it actually stops when you do that warping.
I'm so tired.
But it does stop the game when you get new orders. So let's take a look at the orders. Okay, so we got a lost U-boat. Let's take a look at the map. Let's see where that's at.
Set a course to these coordinates.
Now, it used to give you a dot. It doesn't do that anymore. You actually got to go in there and find that U-boat. We will do that. We'll make sure that I've already set up schedules for all these folks. Obviously, somebody here isn't following their standing order of sleeping because they're still. Who is that? What's his function? It's the captain. I don't know why he's not sleeping. It says he's asleep. I don't know. I have to double check that. Let's take a look. What are you doing? I think he passed out. I can't even click on him. I think the man worked himself to death. Or maybe there's just no bed, so...
What are your orders, Captain? What are your orders, Captain?
Let's kick somebody out of bed. There we go. Yeah, we're out of beds. So, love that red lighting. As you can see, they're automatically setting their lighting appropriate. Blue light, silent run. I mean, there's a description for the light mode, what each does. Silent running and silent rigging. Let's take a look at where we're at now. Okay, we're still a ways out, so let's speed up time here. Let's get to the patrol area. Look at how we're doing on fuel. Not too bad. You can see what it'll actually show you, how much fuel you have based on the route you've set. So sometimes I'll actually click on port and see if I have enough fuel. All right, we're about to cross over. We are now in the patrol area. So that'll allow us to radio that in. We'll get some pointage. And we got an additional option to sink a ship. And back to my original thought. If you sink a ship that we're not at war with or we're not allowed to engage, you actually get a negative reputation. And it's a pretty significant hit. So if you sink like a hospital ship or a country that's not involved in the war, you don't have standing orders to attack on site or identification, yeah, you're gonna get hit with a pretty big penalty. So spin up some, let's see. So it's now nighttime. I'll go ahead and show you the deck wash. Pretty cool.
Deck's awash.
I just love the animation. The graphics are amazing. Such a beautiful game. Apparently my dog is loving the game too. And what's amazing, it takes time for a submarine, especially these older ones, to actually to submerge. And you know, when you're spotted by an enemy plane, it takes a long time. It just seems like an eternity to get underwater. Oh, another new feature I love. You can actually go down and you remember so when you used to do a sonar check just to check and see what your radio could pick up, your radioman.
Torpedo in tube 2 maintained.
Kind of had to do it all manually. You can actually click that and it will do everything. It tells you what it's going to do. Goes down to 50 meters in depth, stops the engines, everybody gets quiet, and they actually listen for echo signatures. And I'm going to show you that. It'll show you the signatures they pick up. It used to put the exact location of the boat or the enemy or target. It doesn't do that anymore. It now shows you a path. There we go. We're going to get into deck wash. Getting close. So they can still, as long as the waves and weather permits, they can stay in the crow's nest in the con, and their visibility obviously will go down, but you know, as far as the range that they can see, this is what I was talking about, their area of their sight. There's their max sight. So it did drop as the boat goes down. So let's see. Oh, we got a buoyancy problem. I didn't even realize. I wasn't even. So now we're at 54%. Remember, it was 80 something. So our signature has definitely come down. We're going to go ahead and run the air compressor. Hopefully boost that up a little bit. We can also turn on the pumps. That should start to go up. All right. And once we get that stabilized, let's we're playing cards, man. You're supposed to be working.
Turn on the pump.
All right. Now we're at a deck wash. Cruising along here. Crawling along. Still doing the manual view in here. It's kind of, you know, this isn't the most... I printed it out actually, as a reference. I'm trying to see exactly what ship I have. There we go. Yeah, this is the U4. It's the Type 2A. When it was commissioned, the range. So it gives you a lot of information here about displacement, length, propulsion. I mean, this is... I have not upgraded this. Haven't done anything with it. Then there's a leaderboard, shows you other folks on Steam, which is kind of cool. All right, so I think we have a dot now. Take a look. Nope. Still don't have the... I don't know why it's showing that way up here. Haven't quite figured that out yet. What that means. But as we get a little closer, I'm going to speed up the time a little bit here. Oh, it keeps moving to the bottom. Let's get into the target area. Hopefully not get attacked. You see everybody's rested up. There he goes. Everybody's following their schedules. All right, we're about ready to hit patrol area. And we're crossing over. Well, we're in the patrol area. We're getting in close to the... Start looking for this sub. This panicked sub. Well, it's going to be hard at night. I don't think sonar is going to help us, but we'll go... I can show that off. So I'm going to go ahead and go to what I was talking about earlier. All right. Now we've got a location. All right, let's change our course. But I want to, as we're heading that direction, I want to show you this. It's going to perform this sonar check. Let's make sure nothing is around this guy.
Dive to 35 meters. And the listening room.
And let the magic happen. This is a lot of fun. I just let everything and run in real time. I'll speed it up, obviously. I mean, I don't have 3 days to sit at the computer to run one mission. So let's see what they're doing in the boat.
To electric motors.
Submarine, straight ahead.
Okay. We're now fully submerged. Pretty damn dark.
Current depth, 25 meters.
All right, and we should be able to see what they see on sonar. So let's pan out. There's the hydrophone. Okay, it doesn't look like he's hearing anything. We'll wait till we get to our full depth and they come to us. Come to a stop.
Torpedo and tube 1 maintained.
Look at the boat. Wow, can't even see it. Now they get all quiet. And they do whisper. I don't know why they're not right now, but they should be. That water?
40 meters.
Yeah, normally they talk in quiet voices. Ventilation system.
Current depth, 35 meters.
Trying to get a view here of the propellers. Yeah, see, they're stopped. We're just literally just sinking down to the appropriate depth. Take a look here. So there's literally nothing on sonar. Good. And this will run until it's completed. You can interrupt it. You can speed things up if you want. Maybe we'll speed up just a little bit.
Decks awash.
And there you go.
Switch to diesel engines.
Captain, we've risen to the surface.
Okay. Let's take a look. So like I said, I mean, it does everything for you now. It'll return back to what mode you were running in previously. And we're still running a decks to wash. So let's surface completely. The time on here, okay, 22 minutes. I like to keep these no longer than 30 minutes. So we'll get to the ship real quick. Should start to be able to see it. Wee.
Torpedo and tube 2 maintained.
All right, we're 4 kilometers. We're gonna have to slow down here. Let's slow down to 4.2.
Slow ahead.
Submarine, straight ahead.
All
Doing all
engines
stop. Crash right into the sucker if we don't.
This seems to be the missing U-boat that we were tasked to locate.
Torpedo and tube 3 maintained.
There we go. It's too far still. Duh.
Slow ahead.
Once we get into range, we can send a little submersible, like speedboat, to see what they need. Whether it's parts, food, or we just have to scuttle it.
Half ahead.
Let's speed it up a little bit here.
Torpedo and tube 1 maintained.
I can see it now. Right there. The U-34. Oh, we're moving too fast. All right, now we
All
can stop.
engines stop.
There we go. Now we can decide. Send a team to investigate. This is a little bit different. You can select the character. Let's send an engineer. And you can also select other people to go with them and what equipment they take. Pretty cool. I don't think we'll need a whole lot here. I think we're good just with what we got there. Let's continue. There we go. Now we get this cutaway. He used to show this really goofy animation of the boat traveling across the water, which was kind of silly. All right, so let's investigate. All right, so the reason you sent more people is it actually speeds up the time, which kind of, I don't know. I can do it myself. I don't. Get to about 90. There we go. All right. Problem. We don't have demolition charges. So we can sink it. But I don't want to waste a torpedo. Oh. Don't need to repeat that step. So at this range, I mean, we could probably just fire the deck gun at it. It'd probably take forever, but let's do that.
Skipper?
Let's
I can use some help over here. Will do, Captain.
I don't. Oh, that's right. This model does not have doesn't have a cannon. Just has the anti-aircraft gun. So yeah, we're can't do anything with it. So we're just gonna have to let it go. Once I get the open port, I can go start looking for where the explosives are. The current port I'm assigned to doesn't have the charges. So they've changed a lot of as far as requirements. I was hoping it was a resupply. It just appears to be an abandoned ship. And with the limited torpedoes on this model, I don't want to waste a torpedo on that just to sink it. But we could. All right, so I'm gonna save my progress and save in here. This is my backup save. So hopefully this is a kind of a nice overview of just what is what they've added. I think the next video we'll do is I'll set it up and pre-record it, edit it, but do a combat. Show you there is a lot now into target identification, range, even on the easy mode. Doing a little bit of math, which I thought was cool because I've always done it the real way. I don't know if the real way is the word to use, but I like to think of it as the way they did it at that time. So hopefully this was helpful and you guys get some interest back if you've played before. You know, go check it out. And if you've never played it, I definitely recommend it. Highly recommend it. Fun, great game. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.